Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Tuesday Training from reVised Coaching. My name is Christy Browning and I am your coach that each week we try to bring you some real life business tips and tricks and how-tos to help you fit success in between real life. And I don't know about you, but I have a real life that sometimes threatens the success of my business, and we are all about taking a very practical approach to helping you build success and build your business in a way that helps you reach your goals. And so today in our episode, we're going to talk a little bit about marketing. And it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about when it comes to business. But in this situation, we're going to talk a little bit about the message that you're giving in your marketing. And so if you haven't checked out a gentleman, his name is called Donald Miller, and he wrote a book on story branding. And in creating this concept and creating this marketing message, he goes about instructing you on how to create a message that is built around you being a guide for your market. And so there's some real confusion for us as business owners on what do we say, how do we say it. We know we're supposed to be creating an elevator pitch. We know that we have to create this content for our website. We know we're putting stuff on our Facebook page, but what is it that we're really supposed to be saying? And how do we take all the things that we could say about our business and dial it into just a couple of powerful messages? How do we do that? How do we begin to craft the message that's not only going to get our point across, but it's going to convince our market to actually invest with us and buy our products or buy our services? And so I want to talk about some tips on how to do that. And so first and foremost, what we need is to know exactly what kind of vibe it is that you want to portray in your message. Are you super informative, educational, with lots of stats and statistics, and you have all this science and research that backs up what you do? Are you more encouraging and intuitive and emotional to where you're sharing feelings and you're sharing emotions that come behind purchasing your product or service? So what is it that what's the message, the vibe that you're trying to portray to your audience? And then we have to communicate a clear message from that, something that stays in tune with the vibe that we're trying to create. In some of our last videos, we've talked about marketing and the whole idea of the feel and the brand of our marketing. And we've talked a little bit about what's the experience we want them to have, what's some of the thoughts we want our products to evoke, and some of the feelings we want it to create in our clients. And in doing that, we want to keep our marketing in the same vein so that everything's consistent. Let me give you a good example. If you are a very intuitive, sort of spirit-led type of business, you wouldn't want to always be so heavy-handed with stats and figures and research and science. Maybe you want to stay more on how things make you feel and the emotion behind it. And so you want to try to keep all of your marketing messages to be in the same genre or have the same kind of vibe so it all mixes with your brand. I like to use the law office that I do marketing for is a great example because I feel like we've done a really nice job dialing in on this. And one of the mantras at that office is that they're the anti-attorney, meaning the firm doesn't want to be anything like a stereotypical law firm. And their tagline is different is good, meaning they do things differently, they're not apologizing for it, and they think it's the best way to do it. And so since our whole vibe and our whole brand is to be anti-attorney, then the language we use and the way we write our blogs, to the way we write our web content, to the way we write information in our brochures are all very layman's terms. It's all very conversational and more casual, less formal, because we want to bridge the gap between the lawyer world and the actual client world. And so if we were to pop off with some sort of a blog post or some sort of marketing that was very legal, technical, citing codes and statutes and all this crazy stuff, that wouldn't vibe with who we are. It wouldn't vibe with our mantra and the manner in which we want to be different and the things that we're trying to do in the marketplace. So all that to say that what you do with your message, you want it to ring true and be consistent with everything else that your clients are going to find with your brand. That being said, let's talk about some specific things you want to make sure you include in some of your marketing messages. So first of all, we have to create a communication that's clear and concise. We don't need it to get complicated. We don't need it to get labor intensive. We need something very clear and to the point. And it needs to answer these 3 questions. 1, what is it that you offer? 2, why is it going to make my life better if I purchased it? And 3, how do I buy it? I don't know about you, but I have definitely been on people's websites where I can't figure out what it is that they offer. Maybe they're really all about these flowery type of descriptions and really fun types of language that they might be using, or these really great graphics, but I still can't really dial in on what it is that they're offering me. And if I don't know what you're offering me, then I don't know why I need to buy it. I don't know what difference it's going to make in my life. And I need to know that. That's kind of what our brains go through in order to know if I want to invest money into this particular site or this particular product or service. And I've definitely been on sites where I couldn't figure out how to purchase the service or purchase the product. So this happens a lot in social media too. We get so gung-ho about sharing what we're doing, but we forget that there might be a first-time visitor to our page or our group, and we've never told them how they can get a hold of the product. We've never told them how they can communicate with us to purchase whatever it is that we're offering. And so what is it that you offer? What is it that's going to make a difference in their lives, or how will buying the purchasing or buying the item make a difference in their lives? And 3, how do they get it? Those are the 3 big questions that you need to answer. And it really needs to be something that people can find easily and readily available on all of your platforms, from your website to your social media platforms. And don't just rely on the about section of your website or social media platforms. Make sure that those 3 things are kind of getting incorporated into your daily posts, your blogs, the homepage of your website, and so on and so forth. We need to communicate how we are impressing and bettering the situation for our customers, not just explaining our whole reasoning and justification for doing what we do. While our backstories can be powerful and it can explain why we do what we do, it can actually probably bring people in to know us a little more. Really, on the onset and at the beginning, they really want to know more why they need to know what you do, why you do what you do, because it impacts them, not your backstory, but how those things impact them as clients and customers. Why should they care? You know, in a world where we're bombarded with all kinds of media, information, we have all these resources at our tips, and to be quite honest, we have lots of choices right at our fingertips. The real question to be asking is, why should they care about what you're doing? And there has to be a way that you communicate that, why they care. So Donald Miller gives this really great example of how the brain works when it comes to marketing. And one of the things that he says is that, you know, with our brains, we are equipped to where the very first thing that our brains are wired to do is to make sure that we survive. Whether that's getting our basic needs met, or whether that's in an emergency situation or a life or death situation, you know, our brain immediately directs itself to, how do we keep Christy alive? And that's what it's really looking for. The second thing it's looking for is, how does it build relationships? So we're surviving and then we're thriving with relationships. And those are the 2 main things that your brain's kind of processing. So your brand and what you're doing and how you're saying it needs to tap into how you're doing that, how you're either helping them thrive and connect and have community or create a better relationship, or 2, helping them survive in a better way. And what are you doing with that? How are you communicating that? Whether that's answering that directly on your website, or whether that's incorporating just those kinds of ideas in what you're doing. When you walk into a room, your brain isn't trying to count all the chairs that are in the room. Your brain is trying to make sure it knows where the exit is. And in case there's an emergency or you need to back out because you feel threatened in that space, your brain knows where the emergency exit is, or where the exit is that you just came out of. The problem is that a lot of businesses try to be the person that calculates the chairs. and we're not the type of person that thinks about the need and the most important need. And so for a communicator with your business and marketing your products and services, you've got to really dial into the basic needs: surviving, thriving. What is it that you're offering? How does it make their life better? How does it help them survive or thrive? And how do they get it? Always going back to those 3 questions. The other thing when it comes to writing your content is thinking about yourself as someone who is a help to your client. And it's funny because a lot of us would say the reason why we do what we do and the reason why our business offers what it offers or does what it does or makes what it makes is because we really have a heart to help somebody. We know people who have the problem and we have the solution, and we want to be the ones to offer it to them. But even though that might be our why and that might be our mission, a lot of times our marketing doesn't back that up. Our marketing isn't helping us help them. Our marketing is just like vomiting all of this product information, sales and promotions and package pricing and whatever it is. But if we really dialed this back and we created an opportunity for our clients to be the hero and for us to be a guide, then we can help them help themselves. And just maybe they'll help themselves with whatever it is that we have to offer them. And so think about your favorite movie. And Donald Miller talks about this phenomenon in story branding, where you tell a story in your marketing. And the story all follows the same kind of formula. There is a character that has a problem. There is a plan for someone to help them with that problem. And there's a resolution of what life looks like after that problem is solved. And if you look at pretty much any major motion picture, those are the 3 standards that you find in those movies. So one of my very, very favorite movies is P.S. I Love You. And that movie is such a great movie. It's funny, it's sad, it's thought-provoking. But the whole concept is that a young couple is married and he contracts a terminal illness and dies. But before he dies, he writes all of these letters to his wife for her to find at special moments and special times after he passes away. So on their birthday, anniversary, so on and so forth. And there's a lot of flashbacks in the movie that show them together as they were courting and then as they were engaged and then newly married and so on and so forth. And it's just a really sweet story. But the main character, her name is Holly, one of the things that she's struggling with from the get-go is just really finding herself, finding her place. What's her purpose? What should she do when she grows up? What job should she have? And she's just feeling very lost, and she's feeling very insignificant. And so through the process of all this communication that her husband's having with her after he passes away, she was able to discover talent that she has. She loves fashion and she's very artistic, and she puts the 2 together and finds out that she can create a business designing shoes. And so it's this really cute story about how she arrives there and how her husband, even though he's passed, played a part in that. So knowing the storyline, we can answer those 3 questions. What is the problem that she had? Finding purpose, being significant, having a future, having a plan. 2, what was the plan to help her? It came through the letters of her husband. 3, what is the resolution, or what does life look like after, at the end? Well, she started a business where she created shoes and was a good success. So there's a main character who has a problem. There's some sort of a guide that comes along to help them overcome that problem, offers a plan for them to get through it. There's some sort of call to action, like you're either going to chase this plan down or chase this action, and the end is either success or failure. So again, we'll use the same example. Holly's the character. Her problem is that her husband has died, but even prior to her husband dying, she still feels lost, and then her husband dies and she really feels lost. No significance, no purpose, no plan. She stumbles upon these letters that her husband writes that becomes a heart guide for her, and offers this plan by putting all these pieces together. The call to action is to take the step forward and she actually takes a class on how to craft shoes and design shoes. And then the end is she starts the business and it's a success. So all of our favorite movies, you can think about pretty much any movie that you want to think about, follows the same rule. And so again, let's think of The Wizard of Oz. The main character is Dorothy, who is trapped in this alternative universe and wants to get home. That's her problem, is that she can't figure out a way to get home. She finds 4 guides, and actually probably more like 5 guides, between the characters, the Tin Man, the Lion, the Scarecrow, and Glinda the Good Witch. And then the Oz character. Those are the guides. They give her a plan. If you click her heels, you can return home. And she has to actually follow through and do that. That's her call to action. And the end is she wakes up at home and she's more appreciative of the little life that she has in Kansas. And so any movie you can pick, you're going to be able to find those elements in those storylines. And that is what we need in our marketing. Our marketing is that the character is our client, and our client has a problem, and we are the guides to help them solve the problem with the plan that we can give them. And then the call to action is them jumping on board with us, and the success at the end is hopefully whatever it is that we're offering to them gives them that success. So let's just use reVised coaching as an example. So you guys are the character, and a business owner, a small business owner woman, is trying to launch a business, but she's super, super busy because she's also working full time and has a family and is involved in her community and all these other things that she has to do. So that's the character, that's her problem, but she still wants to be successful, right? And she still wants to see her dreams come true. And so she finds a guide, me, or the site, or you in our Facebook group that can chime in and help her out. I'm giving a plan through these videos, through our blog posts, through worksheets and tutorials and coaching to call her to action, to move forward for her success using the steps and the plans that we offer. And in the end, she should have a successful business. So the question for you is, how does your marketing fit into that storyline? What kinds of questions can you answer for your client? How can you be a guide? How can you offer step-by-step tutorials or education to help them move where they need to move with a call to action that leads them to success? And that can be everything from diet and nutrition to a hairdresser who's really great at doing hair, to someone who owns a house cleaning service. You name it. Any industry, any type of product can fit into this storyline. I'll give you a great example. Let's say that you own a direct sell business, or you work in a direct sell business or multi-level marketing, and you have some sort of a skincare or body product. Your clients or your customers are the characters. They have a problem. They need affordable, quality skincare that delivers results. That's the problem. They can't find anything that actually works, and anything that they've bought in the past either is really, really expensive or doesn't deliver any results. And they find you, you're the guy, you're the business owner or the consultant or the representative that can show them the product that's going to help them out. And you offer them a plan. Here's my 5 products that you do every day, every night that will help better your skin. And the call to action is buy it and do it. So they purchase the product, and the call to action, they start utilizing the product, and the end result is that they have a successful experience with your product. I mean, you can just do this all day long. With any kind of industry, we can figure out how that formula fits. Now go back to this whole idea of marketing and the context that you're using and the words that you're using. Everything that we are trying to communicate, we're telling the story. And so I challenge you, when it comes to your blog posts or comes to your website content, your brochures, your social media posts, that you're utilizing this character line, the storyline that tells a story for your clients. They're going to be a lot more receptive to that than sell, and buy. They want to be able to figure that part out on their own. They're not stupid. They know that you're trying to sell something to them. What they really want you to tell them is how it's going to help them. Again, what you offer, you're telling them again what it is that you can do for them, how their lives are going to be better if they purchase it, and then again, how to purchase it. And all comes back to those 3 questions and you being a guide and a helpmate so that they know what the plan of action needs to be, what problem they have, the plan that you can give them to succeed and have success with whatever problem it is that they have. So look at what you're saying, look at the words that you're typing, and are you making them the hero? You're not the hero. You're not the one who swoops in and saves the day. You are the one that just offers the plan. You're the one that just offers the resource. They're the hero, and you want to make them the hero, make them the star. And so we have to take it less about us, more about them, and be more considerate on meeting their need and communicating to their survive and thrive need, so that they know that we're a guy that can help them see success, whatever it is that they're looking for, and help them solve their problem. So I challenge you to maybe create a couple of posts that have that sort of philosophy or that sort of concept in the way you create that. Also, download the worksheet today that kind of walks you through those elements for the story, and then apply that to your business. Think of your client, think of a product that you have. How are they the character? What's the problem that they're trying to find a solution to? How are you a guide? How do you offer a plan, or what plan is that? And then what's the success that they're going to see in the end? So you need to be able to answer those questions for your business. The other thing that I want you to think about lastly is that, again, you're the guide, they're the hero. Their customer is the hero. They're the ones that need to be the star at the end of the day. But you're a guide, and as a guide, you want your clients to see that you have what it is that they need, but more importantly, you get what it is that they need. And so sometimes it isn't just about throwing products in their face, but it's being sympathetic to the need that they have, and that you understand them and the need that they have. That you're wanting the same thing, that you're striving for the same thing. Part of what I felt like has been a key element for my success as a coach is because I totally get it. Like, I'm balancing it as well. I'm super busy and trying to fit business in between all the other things I'm doing in real life. Like, I get it. I'm completely sympathetic, and I understand. And we're kind of coming from the same place with that idea. We're overcoming the same things. I am empathizing with your situation and with your story. And I can tell my own stories to say, I know how you feel because I was in this situation too. This is how I overcame it, or this is how I dealt with it. Those kinds of communications just do so much more than, let me tell you why you need to buy this product. Let me tell you about my sale. Let me tell you about my, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, Tuesday sale, whatever it is sale you're offering. It just does more when you can be on the same plane and really understand what it is that your clients or your customers need. So your clients need to know that you are a guide that empathizes with their internal problem or their frustration, whatever might have them all twisted up, that you're the authority or you're competent enough to give them a solution to their problem. So what's the problem that they have? What is the plan that you can offer to help them? And what does the resolution look like in the end? So look at that, think about that, rewrite some of your posts if you need to incorporate some more of that angle. Again, we're really saying the same things as far as we're really introducing our company to clients or to potential clients and customers, but we're just kind of taking a different slant and being more intentional about the vibe or the emotion that we're putting behind some of the words that we're using. So think about that. Download the worksheet so you can start incorporating some of these tactics into your social media posts, your blog post, your website as you go forward. And then start paying attention to some of the other things that you see online and see, are they using the story brand method or are they not? And look for some national commercials or national advertising to see if they follow it too. And you'll pick up a lot of really great ideas watching some of the bigger guys do it and saying, oh yeah, that really works, or no, they didn't do that and it does not work. Like, I feel completely just sold to, and that icky selling feeling that nobody likes to have. So those are your 2 homework assignments. Download the worksheet, answer the questions, to start paying attention to some of the advertising and some of the other posts and such that you might see to recognize that story brand method or not. And then the very last piece that I want you to do is I want you to share this video with someone who you think could benefit from it as well. And then head on over to our Facebook group. There'll be a link in the comments below, or you can join our conversation online. Don't forget to check us out at Revision for Women, that's all spelled out, forwomen.com, where you can follow our blog, you can download more resources and see more videos to help you fit success in between real life. So for now, have a fantastic rest of the week, and we'll see you back here on our next Tuesday training.